We're good?
Yep.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I hope everyone is certainly enjoying our Indian summer of late. In compliance with the Open Publics Meeting Law, notification of this meeting has been sent to our official newspapers and other publications circulated in the Borough of Old Tappan, and notice posted on the bulletin board at Borough Hall. Please be reminded that all of our meetings are video recorded and posted to our website within the next day or two. And please note the fire exits are at the rear of the council chambers and the door to my left, your right, as you entered this evening. Roll call, please.
Mayor Gallagher?
Here.
Councilman Benacci?
Here.
Councilman Rice?
Here.
Councilman Guan?
Here.
Councilman Marty?
Here.
Councilman Yu?
Here. Would you please rise and join me for a salute to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, before we get to our presentation this evening, I'm just going to move a few things around, kind of get them out of the way first. So I want to go right to our staff appointment for Councilman Yu.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At this time, I'd like to bring up the name of Mr. Sean Smith for the position of Code Enforcement Officer. Mr. Smith will be enforcing our new tree ordinance in town.
Second. Second. Any conversation on this appointment?
Qualifications, Jim?
Yep.
Remember the last guy you told us all about his qualifications?
He is a
The arborist?
He enforces the tree ordinance in Cresco.
Well, there's a qualification.
Yep.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Councilman Benacci?
Yes.
Councilman Boyce?
Yes.
Councilman Guan?
Yes.
Councilman Marty?
Yes.
Councilman Yu?
Yes.
All right, let's move to our public hearing on ordinance 1284-25, also for Councilman Yu.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution, whereas an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend ordinance number 1279-25, an ordinance to fix the salaries, wage, and compensation of the officers and employees of the Borough of Old Tappan, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey for the year 2025, was introduced at a meeting of the Mayor and Council held on the 15th day of September 2025. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Old Tappan, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, that said ordinance number 1284-25, being the same, is hereby adopted on second and final reading, and be it finally resolved that the Borough Clerk is hereby authorized and directed to publish the notice of adoption as required by law. And this was the second reading.
This was a second reading, yeah, so you...
I'd like to open the resolution up to the public for questions or comments.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Does anyone from the public like to be heard on our amended 2025 salary ordinance?
Motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, roll call.
Councilman Benacci?
Yes.
Councilman Boyce?
Yes.
Councilman Guan?
Yes.
Councilman Marty?
Yes.
Councilman Yu?
Yes.
Okay, last but not least, before our presentation, let's go to our consent resolution for Council President Boyce.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This is a consent resolution from the clerk's office. This resolution says, be it resolved that the following resolutions placed on agenda by consent require no discussion, and the same having been previously reviewed by each council person, be and are hereby adopted in their entirety by the mayor and council of the Borough of Old Tappan. Bills and claims, release cash bonds and escrow, authorized tax sale, bid award cell tower use lease, bid award curbs and sidewalks, confirmed code enforcement officer appointment, cadet firefighter Fasulo, amend employee handbook and personnel policies and procedures, knock out opioid abuse.
A second on that?
Second.
Any discussion on anything on our consent resolution tonight? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Councilman Benacci?
Yes.
Councilman Boyce?
Yes.
Councilman Guan?
Yes.
Councilman Marty?
Yes.
Councilman Yu?
Yes.
Okay, let's go back to we have a presentation tonight. I didn't get first names here. So just before you come up, just to So we have representatives from the Animal Protection League want to speak to us, I'm sure, about deer, okay? And for those who maybe missed the last meeting, this council is in the process of evaluating what we feel is a growing problem, not only in Old Tappan, but in the surrounding area as well. So we're on a fact-finding mission to find out the best way to address our deer issues. So last meeting, we had a senior biologist from DEP come in, give a presentation. The points of that are available online. And then tonight, we have representatives from the Animal Protection League to perhaps give a different point of view. So if you please come up, introduce yourself.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
if I may, I have some business to tend to. I don't want to be rude to you ladies, but I'll be back maybe in about 10 minutes. But please go ahead with the presentation.
Okay.
I just didn't want to seem rude.
Very rude.
Get the firehouse thing. Open house. Safety night.
It's all the time.
8:30.
What you want? I know what this is. No.
Yeah. Now, Wednesday night, I fly to Florida, I was gonna kill people.
I know what that's like.
Anyway, sure. Sorry, here you go.
Just taking a minute to warm up.
That's all right.
Sure.
It looks like it's no longer connected.
No, it's connected, but your PowerPoint's down there. It's not.
Oh,
There's no teenagers here, so you're on your own.
okay.
Kinda, sorta. I don't want to put you on the spot. I was trying to make you feel like adults.
That's
Yeah,
weird.
the
When
light's
I,
not doing it.
yeah, when I switch to
Full screen?
full screen, it disappears.
Are you not mirroring? Did you set it up for mirroring?
I don't know how to do that.
There we go. I'm the youngest person in the room.
That's it? No?
She says
Well,
what you,
it's not full screen.
Bless you.
like when you go to slideshow and from the beginning? Yeah,
Oh,
go over.
usually I click there to get, to get it to full screen.
You gotta go back, go to slideshow.
Yeah, you gotta click.
Don't we have people for this?
Yeah, there, just see a, run slideshow, you're in preview.
Your slideshow from beginning.
Monitors?
No,
From beginning.
Right there.
Because it's showing up. Wendy will fix it.
Wendy, get over here.
Okay, go back to where you were,
Yeah,
because it was
slideshow.
sharing. It's sharing, so hold on.
I think it's monitored.
Hold on, just make this full screen and then.
We don't have, anybody lettered AV in high school?
That's the look we all have right now, that look.
And then it should be play.
Where the
That's what
headlights?
I just clicked,
And then why,
because we're
oh,
not mirroring, I'm telling you.
oh, okay. Then right click on slow,
No.
Slideshow.
Get fourth person up here.
Can we
yeah.
just leave it like that?
Yeah, we could squint.
We could, yeah, it's a little harder to read, but go to view. No.
Right there from the beginning.
Mm,
Go
Yeah, I think
presentation.
you've
Use
done that. It
presenter
kicks out
view.
the- All right, well,
Did I not just, oh
maybe
no.
we can go this route.
Minimize the tab up top.
Minimizing the tab up top, whoever said that.
They,
Yes.
yeah, correct.
Wasn't me.
Full screen mode?
Yeah, I'll try that. There you go. Okay.
Better.
Mhm.
May hope.
Thank you.
To the Asian guy.
Thank you so much. Can everyone hear me or should I use a microphone?
Should probably use the microphone.
Yeah.
This one?
Yep. That's fine.
Hi. Thank you so much to the mayor and the council for allowing us to present this evening. Yes. My name is Doris Lynn. I'm legal director for Animal Protection League of New Jersey. A little bit about my background. I have a degree in applied biological sciences from MIT. I worked for the Massachusetts Department of Environmental Protection and the US EPA. And then I went to law school, and now I work for Animal Protection League of New Jersey. I'm also the author of the Wildlife Protection chapter in the New Jersey Environmental Law Handbook. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about some facts about deer. Are the deer overpopulated? Why doesn't hunting work? Concerns about deer, including forest health, landscaping, deer strikes by cars, tick-borne diseases, and non-lethal ways to reduce the deer population. Basic facts about deer. Their lifespan is 6 to 25 years in captivity, 4.5 years in the wild. Their diet is herbivorous. They live on the forest edge. They love that edge habitat where you have the small saplings and the shrubs. Their behavior is nervous and shy. They typically mate in the second year. Female fawns typically live with their mothers for 1 to 2 years. Males leave after 1 year. And deer are a keystone herbivore who have co-evolved with the forest for 3.4 to 3.9 million years. So everyone wants to know, are the deer overpopulated? These are the most recent deer population statistics from the Division of Fish and Wildlife. Unfortunately, they stopped putting out deer population estimates after 2018. But you can see the deer population peaked in the 1990s when we had more hunters. Gradually, the deer population went down and then started going up again. Now, the Division of Fish and Wildlife says the deer population is going down. So the most recent estimate, they don't give exact numbers anymore, but they said more than 125,000. And there's biological carrying capacity and cultural carrying capacity. So biological carrying capacity is the maximum number that the ecosystem can support without endangering other species. Cultural carrying capacity is the number humans will tolerate, and that number is usually lower than biological carrying capacity. So the deer in most parts of New Jersey have not exceeded biological carrying capacity, but they may have exceeded cultural carrying capacity, the number of people will tolerate. So hunting is a failed experiment. Hunters killed 39,255 deer in the 2023-24 hunting season. So you'll remember there are about 125,000 deer, and they killed 39,000. So more than a third, or about a third of the deer. And people still say that there are too many deer in New Jersey. That's because the purpose of hunting is not to reduce the deer population. The purpose of hunting is recreation. The Division of Fish and Wildlife talks about the 3 R's: recruit, retain, and reactivate. They want to recruit hunters, retain hunters, and reactivate hunters, those hunters who no longer hunt anymore. They want to bring them back. But hunters are less than 0.1% of the population in New Jersey, but yet the Fish and Game Council is dominated by hunters. By state statute, 5 of the 9 members of the Fish and Game Council must be sportsmen recommended by a hunting club. Oh, and this image is from the New Jersey Deer Classic. So the Division of Fish and Wildlife gives awards to hunters every year for killing the biggest deer with the biggest racks. So why doesn't hunting work? The New Jersey Division of Fish and Wildlife has a mission statement that includes recreation. They need to keep a high deer population so that there are enough deer for the hunters to kill. They want to keep the hunters happy. As we mentioned, the composition of the Fish and Game Council is dominated by hunters. Also, they are motivated by license sales. The division it used to be funded completely through the sales of hunting, fishing, and trapping licenses. Now they do get some money from the state treasury because the number of hunters and trappers has been going down. We also need to follow the federal money. So the Pittman-Robertson Act is a tax on ammunition, and even though most gun owners are not hunters, they all contribute to that Pittman-Robertson fund when they buy ammunition, and then that money gets distributed to the states based on the number of hunting licenses that they sell. So there is a strong financial incentive for the state to sell a lot of hunting licenses because they not only get the direct sale money from those hunting licenses, but also the Pittman-Robertson fund. So the Division of Fish and Wildlife enhances doe fertility to increase the deer population. The deer population increases in several ways. There's compensatory rebound effect. So if you kill, say, half the deer in an area, suddenly there is twice as much resources per deer. You have more habitat, more food, more cover, and that will cause them to have more fawns in the spring. So like many mammals, if food is scarce, the doe will resorb an embryo or two and have only 1 or 2 fawns in the spring. If resources are plentiful, she will have 2 or 3 fawns in the spring instead of just 1 or 2. Another way is farm leases. The Division of Fish and Wildlife will lease land to farmers, estate lands, and they require the farmers to plant deer-preferred crops and leave a percentage of those crops standing for the deer, because that keeps the deer population high for hunters. Also, they do clear cutting on those state wildlife management areas. Clear cutting creates that edge habitat around the clear cut area. Food plots, the state will plant deer-preferred crops on state wildlife management areas to boost the deer population. Prescribed burns, like clear cutting, create that edge habitat that deer like. Also, hunters are feeding and baiting the deer directly on state lands as well as on private lands. So there are many ways where the Division of Fish and Wildlife as well as private hunters are increasing the deer population. This is an ad that appeared in the New Jersey Hunting Digest. It's a magazine that the state puts out for hunters. So this ad is from a store that sells feed and grain, and it says, "I feed year-round for this one day." And it's deer feed. The hunters are feeding the deer because they want to grow those trophy bucks with the record racks. So one thing that people are very concerned about is forest health. So a study showed that deer may eat the saplings but don't necessarily kill them. Wide-scale research showed that deer did not change the number of trees that grew to maturity. They tend not to kill the saplings, but they eat them down, and then when they come back, they grow back bushier. If anyone is a gardener, you know when you cut down a sapling, it comes back bushier. Another study showed that deer had no discernible influence on the height growth or survival of either sugar maple or ash seedlings that were within browsing range. That's a study from 2023. Ecosystems are complex, and simple single-species solutions are not real solutions. For example, we saw with compensatory rebound effect, you can't just kill a bunch of deer to reduce the deer population because that causes them to have more fawns in the spring. Wildlife management and natural area protection goals are often too ambiguous. So one thing that people are concerned about is diversity, but diversity itself is not necessarily a good goal. As we can see from this diagram, when you have that edge habitat, you have more diversity. You have more variety in plant life, and often we see these photos of mature hardwood forests, and people are concerned that there are no saplings, there are no shrubs, there are no small plants, and they think it's a bad thing. But that's what a mature hardwood forest looks like. You have somewhat less diversity, but it's still a valid, mature ecosystem. This is another diagram that shows how you have more diversity in that edge habitat in the young forest as opposed to the mature forest. And it doesn't mean that there's something wrong with a mature forest. So urban deer behavior is a direct result of land management and planting decisions. If you see a lot of deer in an urban or suburban area, it's often because there's food nearby that they love. They love tulips, they love hostas, they love gardens, they love your crops, and that also causes them to reproduce more. Compassionate conservation. Traditional conservation doesn't value individual life, but that's changing as the field incorporates ethics. So it used to be that conservation, that deer management, didn't take into account the actual deer. They were only raising deer for hunters, basically breeding deer on state wildlife management areas, but that's been gradually changing. So a Yale University study determined that deer density was not a leading factor in determining variation in vegetation in Connecticut. And according to Dr. Oz Schmitz from Yale University, regeneration problems blamed on deer in South Mountain Reservation are largely due to invasive jumping worms. How many people have heard of invasive jumping worms? One person, okay. I have done this presentation dozens of times, and you're only the second person to raise your hand. The other person who raised their hand was an avid gardener. Are you a gardener? Okay, yeah. So invasive jumping worms are a serious problem. But as we can see, it's in the science section of the newspaper. It's in the gardening section of the newspaper. Invasive jumping worms don't make headlines, but deer make headlines. And that's why everyone is blaming the deer for a lack of diversity, for forest damage, when in fact a lot of it is due to these invasive jumping worms. So at Animal Protection League of New Jersey, we believe in managing conflicts, not the deer. So one big concern for residents is landscaping. We know landscaping is expensive. We know people care about their landscaping. You care about your vegetable gardens, your hostas, your tulips. Unfortunately, those are things that all attract deer. There is a list of deer-resistant plants put out by Rutgers University. Plants with a strong aroma, such as lamb's ear, oriental poppy, yarrow, sage, narcissus, peony, or lavender, tend to be less preferred by deer. You can also sprinkle some soap around. Some people
Okay, I think we're good.
Okay, sorry.
No, I'm sorry.
Okay. Some people will shave the soap or grate the soap using a grater and then sprinkle the soap gratings around. You can also hang whole bars of soap in your yard or in your garden. You can make an invisible fence out of fishing line and fence posts. Just make sure you don't use posts with sharp spikes on top because deer and other wildlife can become impaled on top of it. You can spray something smelly like hot pepper, garlic, sulfur, or commercial repellents. You can also make noise, hang pie plates, or use a motion-activated sprayer. And you may find that you have to rotate different methods. So the deer might become used to the pie plates, or they might become used to the soap. You might have to rotate different methods to try to repel the deer. Another big concern is deer strikes by cars. I passed several dead deer on the parkway on my way up here. It's definitely a serious problem. But hunting is not designed to prevent car-deer collisions. In Saddle River, they started a deer hunt when they said that one of their main concerns was car-deer collisions, and they found that there was no reduction in car-deer collisions, and in some years the number of collisions even went up. So they suspended their hunt for a while, but unfortunately I heard they recently brought the hunt back, even though it didn't have an impact on car-deer collisions. It's important to map the data and analyze where these car-deer collisions are occurring. Are they near a farm? Are they near a large garden? Figure out why the deer are crossing the road at that point. Another study found that white fabric wrapped around a pole was more effective than a reflector. And they believe it's because the white fabric looks like the tail of a white-tailed deer going up. So the deer will raise their tail to warn other deer of danger nearby. And they think that white fabric looks like a tail warning other deer. And other reflectors have also been effective in areas, but again, that's something that deer sometimes get used to, and then they cross the road anyway. Other methods to prevent car-deer collisions: lighting, used only during twilight and turned off after midnight to avoid light pollution; reduced speed signs, which reminds drivers to slow down. It has been proven to reduce accidents of all kinds, not just deer collisions. Signage just reminding drivers that there are deer in the area. Wildlife crossings reduced collisions by 90% in Colorado, and the state legislature is actually, they actually had a bill. I don't know if it's been passed yet. Have you heard? There was a bill, it might have been passed, that would require the state legislature to look into wildlife crossings in New Jersey. And wildlife crossings should be paid for by developers who displace wildlife. Another serious concern is tick-borne diseases. But disease ecologists have long absolved deer of any significant role in the transmission of Lyme disease. The Carey Institute's Tick Project said that deer have gotten a bad rap, a false rap. CDC scientists criticized a study used by the New Jersey Division of Fish and Wildlife as biased. And the CDC does not recommend killing deer to reduce Lyme disease. A 2015 study found that evidence linking deer reduction to reduced human Lyme disease risk is lacking. And this graphic is from the CDC. You can see that in the life cycle of a tick, there are many different species that are or can be hosts for the ticks, and deer are just one of them. It includes basically almost any kind of mammal or bird. So to prevent tick-borne diseases, it's important to create tick-free zones and prevent tick bites. Clear brush, litter, and acorns from your yard. Those things invite small animals that might be carrying the ticks. Mow the grass short. Move shrubbery away from your home. Remove bird feeders, bird baths, and salt licks. Opossums are great eaters of ticks. They can eat thousands of ticks. Avoid tall grass and brush. Dress long and light, so long pants, long sleeves, in light colors, and that way you can see the ticks easily on you. You can also use chemical repellents. Do a full body check in the mirror when you come in from outside. And wash clothes and remove any ticks immediately. The longer the tick is on you, the greater the chance that you will get any tick-borne diseases that tick might be carrying. So we don't usually recommend fertility control, because usually the problem is not the number of deer, but actual deer attractants or other things that have non-lethal solutions, but if the deer population does need to be reduced, there is fertility control. So surgical sterilization has significantly reduced local deer populations in Virginia, California, Michigan, New York, Ohio, and Maryland. It has proven effective in some open populations. So I know the Division of Fish and Wildlife likes to say that this only works on islands where you don't have deer populations moving around, but it has been proven effective in some open populations. In Clifton, Ohio, residents formed a private nonprofit group and raised $95,000 over 3 years and sterilized 91% of adult females, lowering the deer population by 19%. Between Project Year 3 and 4 in Clifton, Ohio, the number of deer-related vehicle collisions and carcasses collected decreased by 43%. And unlike hunting, the method does not cause rebound or keep reproduction high, because the females that are being sterilized are still there. They're still taking up space. They're still taking up resources. So you don't have that compensatory rebound effect where suddenly there's more resources and more habitat available. In most instances, the populations of deer do not have to be reduced. In the exceptions, fertility control is far superior in achieving significant success and meeting animal welfare concerns. So what we need is openness to independent scholars and non-lethal techniques, and we need to recognize poor quality, outdated information. Opponents incorrectly claim that fertility control does not work when it has proven effective over and over again around the country. So Princeton, New Jersey was the most recent town to use fertility control. The town was divided into 4 quadrants. 3 had lethal control. They were using netting and bolting, where they brought in professionals who were capturing the deer and killing them. And 1 quadrant used non-lethal fertility control. And from 2003 to 2006, that non-lethal fertility control was so effective that the Division of Fish and Wildlife actually found that threatening, because they want to promote hunting. And if fertility control works, that is a threat to their hunting culture. So they passed a new rule in 2006 that would require permission from every landowner within 2,000 feet for your fertility control project to be approved. 2,000 feet is huge. It's almost half a mile. You're not going to get every landowner within 2,000 feet to agree. I mean, some of them just, don't respond to notices. So because of that, every application since then has been rejected. Princeton tried again in 2022, 23, and 24 to apply to do sterilization of deer in their town, and they were rejected every time, rejected by the state. And there's an inherent conflict of interest where you have the Division of Fish and Wildlife, which is funded by hunting dollars, approving deer sterilization. So 2 recent rejections were Saddle River and Ocean Township. In Saddle River, they were told they needed written permission from every landowner of properties where darted deer might have to be recovered. So what they do is they first hit the deer with a tranquilizer dart, and then after the deer falls down, then they pick them up and they do the sterilization. You can't know ahead of time where the deer might run. Once a deer it gets hit by a tranquilizer dart, then you can ask permission from the homeowner to go retrieve the deer from their property. And Tony DiNicola from White Buffalo, which is the premier company in the U.S. that does deer sterilization, he said he has never had a homeowner refuse permission to go retrieve a sleeping deer. But the state told Saddle River that they needed permission ahead of time from every landowner. And the same thing happened with Ocean Township in Monmouth County. Both of their applications were rejected. So we want to emphasize that we need to focus on managing conflict, not deer numbers. If you see a deer, think displacement, not overpopulation. Collect meaningful data and identify hotspots. Where are the deer crossing the roads? and communicate with complainants. So if people are complaining about the deer eating their landscaping, eating their gardens, talk to them. Talk to them about fencing, talk to them about repellents, talk to them about changing to deer-resistant plants. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are you taking questions or comments?
Yeah, I mean, I'll ask if there's any questions or comments, if you can limit them to no more than 2 minutes or so, and if someone asks the same question or comment prior, we let the next person go. Sir? Just come on up, name and address for the record.
Ron Ofek, 85 Old Japan Road. You mentioned that hunting deer is not an effective way of reducing, but hunting deer is held on forest lands and other places, not held here in the town. And hunting deer is involved shooting the bucks, the males, not the females that reproduce. And why can't we shoot the females that reproduce and reduce the population that way? Also, you say that you should buy deer-resistant plants. The deer in Old Japan don't care if it's deer-resistant or not. Okay, they eat it all.
A hungry deer will eat almost anything.
So the town won't let you put up a giant 8-foot fence in the front lawn to prevent the deer from coming in. And you don't want to put white tassels all over your house because it'll look ridiculous. We want to live in a neighborhood, and quite frankly, it's more important for me, my family, to live in peace and quiet and happiness in a nice yard than to protect the deer who are invading my property and driving my dogs crazy. So, is the hunting that you're talking about, as I described it, hunting of male bucks that is out in the countryside when there are hunting permits given to farms, not here in town?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wendy?
Hi,
Hi.
3 minutes.
Yes.
Wendy King, 48 Dearborn Drive. A couple questions and a comment. So the birth control, does it limit diverse species then? Because over time now we have a limited species, so then it could create weakness. Over time, do the deer eventually disappear? How exactly are you sterilizing them? Are there side effects or are there birth defects?
So regarding your first question about, I guess it's about weakening the deer population.
When you lower the biodiversity of a species, then that's not good, whether it's plants and animals.
I mean, hopefully the deer would not be reduced to numbers so low that they go through a bottleneck like that. Like cheetahs are almost, genetically identical and, susceptible to diseases because of, their very limited diversity right now, their, genetic diversity. Hopefully the deer numbers would not be lowered that drastically. And then regarding sterilization methods, we recommend ovariectomies where the ovaries are removed. So you might hear about a study from Cornell where they were using darting. I believe they were using PZP, which is a chemical sterilization. I'm sorry?
It's angel dust.
Wait, PZP?
PC, that'll make
That'll make it go nuts.
Yeah.
Porcine,
Excellent.
I believe it's called PZP, yes. But it was a chemical sterilization that lasts for several years. The females were still coming into heat and still attracting males to the area. So it wasn't as effective as an ovariectomy where they remove the ovaries and then the females do not come into heat and do not attract males. And the ovariectomy is permanent. It's a permanent sterilization. As
Capture them, take them away from their families, put them in a captive situation, and a lot of deer die from fright in captivity, because I know a lot of the wildlife rescue people say if it's an adult, you can't do anything because they'll die of fright trying to help them, versus if it was a baby deer.
well, you dart them with a tranquilizer first,
Right, then you're taking them out of their community.
and you perform the surgery, which takes about half an hour, and then you release them. You release them back into the community that they came from.
And are you noticing noticing any birth defects?
No.
The chemical thing? Okay.
No.
And then just one thing for in town, I believe we need to study, like you're saying, we don't know. Is it just because they lost their habitat and they tore down all these trees on this person's property, so now the deer showed up over here when they used to live over here?
Right.
So unless we're actually doing, like my deer family, like the one in my backyard, and has been in and out and in and out over the summer, hasn't shown up for a couple weeks, and I miss them, they can come back. And then, if everyone does natural lawns with multicultural ground covers and plants multiple native species of different types, then we're rebalancing what we've damaged by putting all these non-native species and all of these things, and we can balance our habitats, and it would be better for everyone. So that's just.
Thank you. That's
Thank
the
you.
part. Okay. Anybody else? Please.
Hi.
Sheridan, 31 Edith Street. So did the Princeton town pay for the fertility control methods themselves?
Yes, the town paid for it.
Prohibitive. So like I think people would prefer the fertility control methods, but it's much more expensive than the alternatives. So we're just trying to.
Yes. So when Princeton divided the town into 4 quadrants and decided that one quadrant would be non-lethal, it was because that was the most densely populated quadrant, and they decided they did not want to use weapons there because of the danger to human life. And that's a concern for any densely populated town is danger to human life.
So they just focus on that one quadrant, and then whichever deer was just happened to be in that quadrant on the day that they were performing these procedures was the population they targeted?
Yes, they hit them with tranquilizer darts and then retrieved them and then performed the sterilization.
Okay. And then is there a certain percentage of the doe population that you need to target to make it effective? Or is it...
Well, the higher the percentage, then yes, the more effective it is. I don't think there's a specific number that you need to hit for it to be effective, just the more you sterilize, the more effective it is. And actually in San Jose, California, they sterilized so many of the deer that they saw a very drastic reduction in the deer population, and they actually wanted to import some deer.
They can have ours.
So I guess the question, I mean, for the town is like, how much money can we allocate if we were going to do fertility control, and if that money is going to be enough for it to actually show the results that we want?
Yeah, so there are a lot of factors that go into the cost. I know for the most recent Princeton proposal, I believe it was $1,000 per deer. Yeah, for each sterilization.
But that's it. After that, then there's no additional cost, right?
It's done for that deer. Yes.
What about therapy? The deer that lives.
Yeah. So you tag the deer, so you know which deer you've gotten before. Or if you're doing the chemical sterilization, you still have to tag them because you have to redo it every 2, 3, 4 years. Yeah. In the wild, only about 4.5 years, and their main cause of death is hunting.
Not here.
Is this considered the wild?
Not here.
The wild?
What's the limit of the
Maybe
wild?
not.
I mean, their range is quite short here. They tend to stay in neighborhoods.
In New Jersey, we don't have that many natural predators.
Only cars.
We have a few. Yeah.
If I could tell you, coyote is really the only natural predator, but adult coyote, baby deer, coyote wins. But adult coyote, adult deer wins every time. So it's really not a factor. There's lots of coyotes. You may or may not know that. Just lots of coyotes, and they're not affecting the deer population.
Yeah.
If there's an injured deer, a couple coyotes take it down. But
so when White Buffalo comes in to do a proposal for a town, they will evaluate the terrain and how what's the word I'm looking for? How tame the deer are, because the more used to human presence that the deer are, the easier it is to hit them with a tranquilizer dart, and so that brings the cost down. Also in Clifton, Ohio, once they had some volunteers trained, that also drastically reduced the costs. So you do have to have professional veterinarians doing the sterilization, but you can have trained volunteers doing the tranquilizing, transporting the deer, things like that, and that also reduces the costs.
And There are no, like, state resources to help offset those costs for the towns, or grants?
Yeah, the state would rather not have sterilization because they want hunting. Yeah.
So most of all of the cost is usually borne by the municipality that wants to do it.
The town, or in some cases volunteers, yeah, like Clifton, Ohio, they formed a private nonprofit organization and raised money for the sterilization.
Okay.
Yeah. Hmm.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Okay, you go.
Can you speak to, so, one of my favorite expressions, perception is reality. And I think if you looked around the room here, and if you certainly read the room 2 meetings, or last meeting 2 weeks ago, I grew up in town, I've been here 50 plus years. There are tremendous more deer in Old Tappan today than there were in the 1970s, we'll call it. Tremendous.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if anybody will debate me on that. What caused that? Now, you say culturally we're over, but we're not really over.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
I mean, it could be displacement. It could be that the deer population is actually higher. But I would imagine there's been a lot of development in the last 50 years.
Entire state.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it could be that the deer were in the woods in the 70s, and now those woods are gone.
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
Could I ask, our last presentation, they talked about non-lethal, making surgical birth control. However, the birth control was administered, but they also said after that doe can no longer have babies, someone shoots that doe with a bow and arrow and eats it, it could be affecting their health.
That's why they're tagged, right? If they.
Well, that was
I've never heard that. And I mean, even with the deer who are chemically sterilized with
That's my
PCP,
question.
yeah, even those deer who are chemically sterilized, that breaks down in the deer, and they are safe to eat for hunters if the deer is killed by a hunter
Do we know
later.
that how?
They've done studies. I can try to find that for you.
I'm just wondering if you know off the top of your head.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go.
Along with what he said, the other thing that they said was, when you have a deer that's sterilized, you have the doe sterilized, the male still is looking for...
They're still going to estrus.
Right. So all of a sudden they say that causes a lot more car accidents because they're going crazy trying to find something.
Well, that's true of the chemical sterilization, but with an ovariectomy where they remove the ovaries, the female does not go into heat and is not attracting males.
So the male doesn't care anymore?
I think the male is still looking for females, but he's not going to be attracted to that female.
Yeah, but that's the thing, they're going to be looking for, and then what they said is they're going to be looking for,
Mhm.
so they're going to be a little bit more wild about getting someplace where they,
Okay.
find that heat.
They might be attracted to a town that didn't sterilize their deer.
Jerry? Very minutes.
Hi.
Hi, thank you very much. Sherry Fonero, 256 Old Ban Road. Thank you very much for coming. At the meeting the last meeting, and I think it might be worthwhile to go look at the tape, revisit what they said. I came away, I really appreciate what you said, because I personally came away feeling it was quite a biased report. And there is, unfortunately, there's a lot of bias going on in the world. And it's hard to decipher information, fact, and fiction anymore. But it seemed like the way they even set up the presentation, and I've been to a lot of presentations, it was set up to have everybody going like this. It's called bobblehead. You do a sales pitch. You get people to be going like this. So by the time you stick the contract in front of them, they're ready to sign. You put the pen, yeah, any problem? No. Oh, okay. They don't even know how to do their head anymore.
Okay. Comment about the deer.
So
You had a question.
my point is, I think what you mentioned gives new insight and new information on top of what we already learned. And instead of just right away going to, like, one of the problems is, I lived upstate and people used to kill deer and they would eat them. I mean, it was the country. Here, it's not the country. So even bow and arrow is a very cruel method.
Yes.
And I read up on it after the report. It's a very cruel way to try to kill anything.
Mhm.
There's no guarantee, I mean, there's deers walking around with arrows in their necks, things like that, and then what do? And now that creates another problem, and it also can traumatize children to see this. So it's a real problem we have because we're such a close community. And to your point, in my opinion, there's no forest left. Everybody's got fences up. So the deer are all on everybody's front lawn because the only place you can't put a fence, if everybody had fences on their front lawn, you wouldn't even see them on the front lawn.
So they die.
I don't have the answer, but I think the sterilization, I knew in Fire Island, they did a chemical one long time ago. And you're right, it only lasts a few years, it's not cost effective, but this actually ovarian removing the reproductive organs, so to speak, does seem to be like a viable alternative that we should at least consider and maybe look at a proposal from this group. Because also in Saddle River, they have a lot more land what's left there than we have here. We really don't have any place for anybody.
Oh, yeah, and the residents in Saddle River were very upset finding wounded and dead deer on their lawns. Yeah.
It doesn't seem like, as you said, people shoot them, they die, you have more control over that, and then you take them for food and you eat them. And with our bow and arrow is not the most effective way.
Yeah, they bleed to death, which is a slow, painful death with bow and arrow.
They run off into the road, into your yard. I mean, it's difficult. I know some wounded deer that were in the property next to me, a policeman had to come and shoot them because, they were hurt. It's like, they couldn't save them. But, it's thank you for just offering another alternative.
Thank you.
For everybody to hear about.
Yes, and of course, another solution is the state has to stop these practices that increase the deer on state wildlife management areas. But, that's not something the town has control over.
Patrick. Again, as Patrick makes his way up here, this is a part of our fact-finding. There's no decisions here. We had someone with different points of view last meeting, and we'll probably have future presentations with other points of view. So, sir.
Hi. Patrick Jambuti, 16 Autumn Lane. Just one quick question. What's the cost difference between chemical sterilization? You said it was $1,000 per deer for the ovarectomy. But
yes.
for the chemical.
The chemical sterilization is cheaper because you're actually just hitting them with one dart that has the chemical in it. But it has to be repeated every few years. So for the short term, for that first year, it is cheaper. But for the long term, the surgical sterilization is cheaper.
But how much is it per year?
It's a few $100s per deer to do the sterilization dart.
So then they tag them at the time when they get darted?
Yes.
So that has a tranquilizer in it too? With that?
I think they hit them with the tranquilizer first, and then, yeah. And I'm sorry, yeah, it's not a dart, it's an injection. With the PCP,
right.
Yeah. Sorry.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else, any comment on this? Thank you so much for
Thank you so much for having us.
coming in.
Yes. And I believe Doreen has literature for you. Okay.
Can we get the PowerPoint to our borough administrator?
Yes, I can email that to you.
Awesome. Anna, you were ready or?
Thank you so much.
Well, good. Our next order of business?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right, our next order of business tonight is under new business, wait a minute, what do we got?
This is Halloween.
Oh, that was me, but we're both not.
Hang on. I'm guessing what you're going to talk about. So our next order of business on the new business is Halloween proposal concerns, and I have your name next to this on the agenda. Do you want to introduce?
There's a lot of Halloween candy trick-or-treaters on Country Square.
Okay.
And they
Not only Country Square.
close they don't want cars on the roads. So I think they have to come and tell you what their reasoning is. The chief did go through this, and last year what they did was They closed Country Squire on OTR, so no one can get on. And what he'd like to do this year is put no parking signs on one side.
I don't think they closed last year. I talked to the chief today, like a couple hours ago.
Well, he said the OTR in
No.
Purple Bush.
No,
Okay, well, they
I
just
talked to him like 5
closed
o'clock.
that from OTR and then put no parking signs on one side.
Okay.
But you can.
Well, yeah, let's
hear what you-
let's hear the proposal, and Councilman Benagi, as our police liaison, could
Right.
fill in something there. So ladies, please come up, introduce yourselves, name and address.
I'm Jen Griffin, 56 Old Crown Road.
I'm Jordan Sheehan, 42 Edith Street.
Jen and Jordan. Okay,
Jen and
we'll
Jordan.
put
Jordan,
that right
make it
here.
real easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
We want
Ladies,
to close the
please.
roads to keep the deer out.
What's that?
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you gonna let the deer out, trick or treat? Close.
So clearly we haven't been to a meeting like this before, so we don't have enough copies, but I do have
Okay.
some that I could kind of pass.
We know the neighborhoods. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, got it. Okay, so well, thank you again for letting us be here tonight to talk about this. The concern is that we have small kids. I'm sure there's a lot of people in the room who also have had small kids at some point, with our neighborhood being sort of the epicenter of where everyone goes to go trick-or-treating. And we were looking to, thank you. We were looking to, like Anna said, shut down a couple of the roads, maybe work through a plan or something that we could kind of get comfortable with, where there's no restrictions of any type of emergency situations, but it's a really heavy foot traffic area. It gets really, really busy. Kids are running around the place. We're looking to shut it down for about like 2 hours.
Yeah, especially when you have more than one kid, one's going this way, one's going that way, your head's on a swivel.
And it's a Friday night.
Yeah, we're aware that emergency situations, ambulance, things like that of that nature. There was discussion about possibly having the DPW be at each like barricade in case somebody needed to get in or out. Possibly putting letters in the residents' mailboxes of alternative parking spots or places for those 2 hours or so. We created a little map of little X's of where potential closures could be, but that's, again, all up for discussion. It's with the e-bikes and the scooters and pedestrians, it's a safety concern, and it's a lot.
What did they do last year?
Nothing.
Nothing.
No, I don't mean. What transpired last year?
Halloween-wise?
Yes.
Like to get
Traffic and stuff.
You had the
what worked?
police
What
patrolling, and they
Okay.
were driving very, very slow, and then everybody had to shout and be like, move over, and then everybody had to get on the sides.
Okay.
But that was essentially,
What was the problem there with that?
it's a stressor. It's a stressor for parents, especially with young kids.
And for such a small proximity, dependent upon how you're looking at the map, for such a short time, it's
Well, I know the
just
map.
an ease of
It's peace of mind.
peace of mind.
Safety.
It's a nice little community space where we can all just kind of like take a deep breath and be together for those 2 hours, and then can kind of open up the roads back again and have it be back to normal.
Okay.
So back in the old day, this is like the 1900s when my kids were little, we used to drive our kids to the neighborhood.
Sure,
And,
right.
so we had Halloween there. But usually the smaller kids would go in the late afternoon when it's light out. And then some of the older kids would go maybe when it's darker. What hours are you recommending? If you're going to recommend 2 hours, is it darker when it is actually more dangerous?
There
Or
is-
is it
good
light
point.
when the little kids are out?
There's the curfew too, right? So with daylight savings, which is what, November 2nd-ish? Usually by the time it gets dark, trick-or-treating's done.
Yeah, I would say around.
Everybody's home. I mean, you
not
get
when I was
those
little.
unruly teenagers knocking at your door for sure,
Right.
but they're also on the e-bikes and the e-scooters with their helmets unbuckled. I digress. But, who's laughing back there? We were thinking, okay, everybody gets school lets out 3 o'clock, 3:30, everybody, that's another thing. You have to worry about getting everybody home from school, getting cars in their driveways and things like that. What did we think, like 3:34 to 6:30, 6?
Yeah, 4 to 6. Is
It's
that
also
is like
the time people are coming home from
From
work too.
But
right?
with the letters in the mailbox ahead of time, preemptively planning it, it might ease that.
But with letters in the mailbox, you think they're not coming home from work?
No, they
No,
can.
but they definitely have days to plan, and it's one short day, one short period of time. It's, it's a Friday.
Park your car here and then move it an hour
Until
later.
you hear us next year.
It's can be inconvenient, for sure. We were also kind of hoping to make it more of like a community experience. We have a kid at the high school who's willing to DJ in her driveway. We were looking to
Volunteer
get
points.
some food
go.
situations happening. I know. What do you say there? Here we go.
No, I said, there you go.
Yeah,
You
there-
have a DJ in the driveway.
Yeah, we're just trying to make it more fun for the community. I mean, the whole town does come to that side of town.
Yeah.
They do.
We're starting a candy collection this year. We're trying to, our kids are still young, and if we can pilot it now and have it maybe grow and be a positive experience and successful, it's kind of.
What if you had food trucks and DJs at Stone Point Park under the pavilion? And take the pressure off.
That's not where they
and take the
trigger.
pressure off the neighborhoods.
Well, the food trucks are, it's been a nightmare and a disaster. So we don't know. We're going to we're looking more towards another option there. We didn't get there yet, planning wise.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We don't have those answers yet because we wanted to get approval before. But also, I don't think people are going to take the time out of their day and trick-or-treating house to house to house to walk down to Stone Point. And then you've got Town Day on the 25th. It's it's the same thing. You don't want to take away
Do it at
from
Oaks
that.
Park. We'll do it at Oaks Park then.
That's too far.
It's a different.
So you want to recreate the trick-or-treating?
No, my concern is the, I've trick-or-treated in that neighborhood, I won't even tell you how many years ago. I grew up in that neighborhood.
Uh-huh.
I know it's become more and more and more and more.
Mhm.
And I don't want to set a precedence, and we're going to do something here, and then some other neighborhood says, well, we have issues too, and we have parking problems too, and we have this going on as well. So I'm just leery to kind of do anything except have our police keep the safety and concern, top of mind. So that's my thinking.
If I could, I talked to, speaking about safety and the police, the police liaison.
Right.
I spoke to Joe Tracy, our police chief today,
Mhm.
and he said, if we close the road, or if we make no parking on one side, it's not going to affect, it's going to be the same amount of safety issues. Meaning, we're not going to, if we close the road, we're not going to lessen overtime, if you want to speak for budgetary people here. It's still going to be the same amount of people. He said, and I said, what'd you do last year? He said, we just made no parking one side. And I said, did it work? And he said, it worked fine.
How do you do that, with the temporary signs?
Yeah.
He said there's temporary signs all over the place,
You would extend that to a larger area.
larger area of not just Country Square.
Can you define worked? Like, what do you mean when you say that?
Um,
There was no accidents or?
correct. It was as good as it could be.
See, I disagree.
Okay.
I think it could be better.
Well, it could always be better.
Right, and that's why we're here, to better it. Just because
I'm
there wasn't
looking
an
at your map.
accident. Go ahead, yeah.
Is our interpretation of your map that the X's indicate that those roads are closed and that inside of those X's where it's...
Yeah, that's the heavy
because
foot traffic
It's not
area.
an extraordinarily large area.
It looks like a large area to me.
It does.
It's
pretty
a
big.
real-
But even
it's
if you
mostly-
narrowed it, again,
Yeah.
all open to
It's 50
discussion
acres.
and options and,
Do people get permits here for block parties?
No.
We don't do that? All right.
A few places do, but it really is basically one portion of, like, usually in a cul-de-sac.
Like Pearl Court,
So-
you let them close the last two houses.
I drop my kids off in that area, and I know exactly what you're talking about. And safety, that's always my concern. I'm trying to just wear something bright, because once it starts to get dark, once it starts to get dark, I see people kind of they veer off and somebody's hosting, which is kind of nice. Then you have a pickup point. And going in and out to pick them up, for me, it's always been an issue where my head's on a swivel, because I don't want to.
nail somebody, right?
Yeah. So I'm looking at this, I'm like, can there be a compromise? Maybe just close Country Square, if we could do something
Or
like that?
an Old
'Cause
Crown,
if you look at the
those
map-
two parallel roads,
Those are the-
yes,
yeah.
I agree, those are a lot of X's. But again, open to interpretation, discussion, we just wanted to kind of be here to get something, maybe the ball rolling before Halloween.
Birchwood Road also is very heavy at the end of Country Square.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hang on one sec. Well, I'll get to you in a second.
But, and then you also don't want
the people in that area, well, why is my road not closed then? Or why is this road
Oh,
closed?
that'll be coming.
Right, I know, so you've got to be careful there as well.
So what other, we're not going to make a decision
No,
tonight.
totally,
about
right,
this.
yeah.
So what other, so road closures, everyone boxed in for
Mhm.
safety reasons.
Mhm.
What else are you proposing for us, for this council to consider and take it to our police department so that they can weigh in and say, you know, all right, let's think about doing this because it
That's
works.
honestly it. We were going to go the food truck route. It's been a nightmare because they all have differing opinions and personalities, and this one
Okay.
wants these rules, and
Okay,
it's
so
just...
that's off the table.
Yes.
Probably.
We could potentially get B&M Market to cater outside Jen's house if that's, again, personal property type situation where, hey, she's there.
Personal property?
Yeah,
she
and
can-
then pay as you
can
go,
have
then
a-
people
have a
don't
party.
have to be, another concern is people order pizza. If you're hosting, you're feeding people. So how are those pizza trucks getting there? You're going to have to meet them at a point. But if
They're not
you
getting in with the road
offer,
closed, right?
if you offer a food, don't mind me. If you offer a food option and talking with community members, they're like, that's a fabulous idea.
We gauged a couple of people, but that's not everyone, and we know that there's more people to the neighborhood who don't have Facebook, who aren't seeing these messages. So, like we said, we just wanted to sort of gauge what the possibility could be.
Can I ask two questions? So one is, we have a 5K event. Do we close roads for that?
No.
Yes, no?
No, the roads aren't closed for that.
No.
It's not.
It's controlled, but not.
It's controlled, but not
Controlled,
closed.
okay.
Yeah.
And then the second is for the plan of the streets. Like Country Square to me is a kind of a main street to get to other streets.
Right.
I'd like you to give a proposal which minimizes
The main.
yeah. So for example, I see Westminster, Windsor, that's almost like a circle, right? Where in order to get to another street, you don't have to go through those streets. So, you know,
You've got an outlet.
In a more detailed proposal, can you try to minimize the impact of
Commuters.
commuters? Absolutely.
There's about 63 homes affected by this concept, and if you lopped off the side of Country Square, you're taking about 15 away, still maintaining that thoroughfare.
Right, okay.
Did you get permission from all 63?
No, we didn't do that yet. We're here in front of you first. We're doing it the right way.
You might have a hard time.
But we definitely don't want to ruffle feathers by
Right.
any means. We're, like we said, we're trying to keep safety number one
Would
priority.
the deer be
Yeah.
allowed to roam during Halloween?
Only,
deer,
only if the
yeah.
worms are there.
Don't even get me
Ouch.
started.
So that's, okay, so that's the proposal.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
and
and-
this council will,
Thank you.
led by,
You know, let me talk to the
Talk to the
chief
police
again and
chief.
get a written opinion.
but I'd like to have anyone from the public who would like to weigh in on this. You heard the proposal. Ma'am, you had your hand up on, you have, name and address.
You have to come up. Yeah.
Come on up. We don't bite.
Margaret Haramis, I'm at 37 Birchwood Road. I've lived there for about 20 to 25 years, and I see what goes on, and it's scary. I mean, there are so many trick-or-treaters that I don't even stay in my house. I put a chair out with the candy and to give it out, so that that's many kids. I mean, I have 114 pretzel bags plus like a couple pounds of chocolate, and hopefully I have enough. But I see it every year, and it's scary because I see exactly what you're saying. Kids are crossing over, they're darting, parents are trying to do their best to
You
control.
scream.
Yes, and I've seen it, and people walk their dogs, they come park in Nottingham Court, and then start from there and go around to all of the towns. And because I don't see your map, I don't know if you recognize that Birchwood Road also is
Yes.
affected by the
Oh,
traffic.
yeah.
That's really all that I have to say. But I do have to say that my daughter lives in Holworth. Somebody approached her and asked a new neighbor, said, where's the best place to take my children trick-or-treating?
They did not.
They did.
No.
Oh, Birchwood Road in Old Japan. So it's out there.
It's a movement.
It's out there.
Margaret, we're starting a candy donation. I'm going to go to your house and drop you a bag.
Thank you, Margaret.
Thank you, Margaret.
Ma'am. Here we go.
Hi there. My name is Doreen Pfeiffer. I live at 12 Windsor Place, right in the epicenter of Halloween. Sorry, I need reading glasses. I'm older. I'm here tonight because I did see all over Facebook all about this proposal that was circulating for Halloween. And to be honest with you, I'm incredibly concerned. I want to put it on record. I am not anti-Halloween. I have lived in that home for 28 years, and for 28 years, I have opened my door and had Halloween candy for every child that has come there. But I think that things are just starting to get a little bit out of hand. Jordan, I saw what you did as far as the candy, you know, to have people come, and if you're in a neighborhood that's really hit hard, I can go through 500 pieces of candy in an hour and a half. Wow. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous what I have spent for the last 28 years on Halloween candy. But I do it because it's a day for the kids and they're supposed to have fun. My concern is this is now becoming not just an afternoon of fun for the kids to run around, it's becoming an event. And it's becoming an event that is just happening in one area of town. Again, I didn't know everybody. I didn't know who was behind this. I have no idea everything that was posted. Most people that posted on Facebook and were talking about this, everything was anonymous. So I guess my questions are, we're saying to close the roads for a couple of hours, and I have a problem with that, okay? Technically, I'm a senior citizen, okay? If I have to park my car and walk from Old Tappan Road or walk from Sundon Court, it's not fair. It's not fair to me. It's not fair to my family to have to do this. I know you're just hearing about this today, so I don't know what the options are, and I don't know where people would park or where people would expect to be parked. I have a daughter who's 8 months pregnant, who comes to my house every Halloween because she doesn't get a lot of foot traffic. She can't come to my house then this year if we propose shutting down the roads, because I can't have an 8-month-old woman walking from Old Tappan Road to the house so that she can hand out Halloween candy to kids. And it's a little bothering. I completely understand safety. But Halloween in this neighborhood is no longer, it's, as I said, it's become an event. It is not something that we just have the kids come, run around. We all did this. We all watched our own kids. We brought our kids to the neighborhood. We understand that there are other kids from all over town that came to the neighborhood. Both of my kids trick-or-treated with their friends through that neighborhood. But I just don't understand why now parents are not watching their kids, and I understand that more and more kids are coming. Let me tell you a story. We have, on numerous occasions, seen vans pull up Windsor Place, Country Squire Road. Vans come, you get a bunch of kids jump out of the van, parent takes off, you see the van come back a couple hours later. You hope that the right kids are getting in the right van and they're all leaving. 2 years ago, a school bus showed up on Country Squire Road. School bus emptied out, dozens of kids. Boom, they dispersed into the neighborhood. That tells me that these are not only are they not kids from my neighborhood, but they're not even kids from this town. Where are they coming from? This woman just said Haworth is being told to come to Old Tappan to go trick-or-treating. It's just ridiculous.
It wasn't my daughter who said it, somebody else who said it.
Either way.
I know, but I wanted to dedicate my daughter.
One other point that I'd really like to make. First responders. My husband sits here, he's a first responder. I have seen people, the fire whistle is blaring. He's got a blue light in his car, and he's trying to get to a fire call. And you have adults standing in the middle of the street screaming at him. This has not just happened once, this has happened several times over the years. This is wrong. What if, God forbid, there's an emergency in our town? I have a person across the street from me who's 90 years old. At any given time, they could need the ambulance. What are we going to do? I mean, I know we have police there in the neighborhood, But the idea of just shutting this neighborhood down is just, it's just wrong. And I know some people think, well, it's just one afternoon. It's just one afternoon, but it's getting crazier and crazier and crazier. And I don't want it to be moved to Stone Point, but I think that we're getting to the point where if we don't do something, and if we don't like the deer population, if we don't try to trim out this neighborhood a little bit, I don't know what the answers are. But maybe we start to need to say, okay, there's a different neighborhood in the town that gets hit every year. As I said, 28 years it's been here, and it's getting more and more and more. And it's not just Old Tappan kids. If it's Old Tappan kids, that's fine. The more the merrier. But the fact of the matter is we're getting people in from all over. And this is really, this is a problem.
How does one control that, though?
Road closure or not?
You can't, it's a public street.
Yeah, I'm just
It's a
saying.
public street. I mean,
Not giving out candy.
I'm just like, and again, I feel like when I come and I sit here,
Nothing but ring
especially with
pops.
these young ladies here, and I think to myself, they're gonna come out and they're gonna say, oh, that lady's anti-Halloween. I'm not, because I'm very, very
okay.
concerned.
Anything else?
Thanks.
Okay.
And there's 3 firemen on the dais, so we understand that.
Yeah, I just,
First
you know,
responder thing.
I mean, have you not? Have you not been screamed at and
Oh,
yelled
I'm-
at and
I
told
have
to
no
get out
doubt.
of the way,
I have no doubt.
you know? So,
You can't go more than 2 miles an hour, even if you wanted to.
They do.
There's no cars racing through the streets.
It's impossible.
It took me 10 minutes to get from my house to
Oh, I see.
Berkeley a couple of years ago. 10 minutes.
There's no
You
emergency.
can't go flying through the streets. If you go 2 miles an hour, you're lucky.
So it's faster to walk then.
It's faster to walk. It is, absolutely. But if you have to get out of your car, it makes it a little difficult.
Kathy, go on up. Come on up.
Kathy Sheridan, 71 Mavis Road. Have you guys looked into alternatives in other towns? I was teaching last year, they used to have trunk or treat. They have.
They do it at the high school, they do.
Oh, they
Trunk or
do?
treat, yep.
I mean, it sounds like, I brought my kids too. We live
Yeah, they do.
by
They
the
do it at the
golf
high
course.
school.
I buy a bag of candy that I don't like, because the whole thing is there when the day is over, you know, so,
But
Yeah.
I get your point totally, but it's also like, you can't stop Halloween. People are
well,
And
unless,
it's been,
but
to her point, what it's becoming, the whole ING, the progressive, it's what it's become. It's happened already. Now we need to, and I get the idea of you don't want to make it bigger because it's going to make it worse, but it's already level 9. What's a food
And
table?
it's a Friday, so what?
unless, you know, you put an alternative out there where not this street.
That would have to come from the town,
I know.
not us.
Do something.
I don't think the town is in a position for or against to say, don't go here this year, because it's kind of,
How do you do it? Yeah, I don't
you
know.
just, you know,
Public streets. It's public streets, it's hard for us
public
to
streets, right.
really do that.
So, Wendy, last point, and then I'm going to ask our police commissioner to look into something, and we'll make a determination within the
When
next
my
2 weeks.
kids were little, we loved it because we would go to the neighbors, we knew the neighbors, we said hi. It was a community event, we never went over there. By the time my third kid was born, his friends would come over here, but it wasn't fun because everyone was over there. And I think a lot of it has to do with social media, because it used to be you trick-or-treated in your neighborhood, you said hi to your neighbors.
Right.
And that was really great. And one woman we went with, she's like, I don't let my kid get candy unless I know the person personally. And then it was
Yeah.
funny because I was like, oh, I know them and I know them. And I realized I actually knew all my neighbors, which was really cool. But then it just went over there. Now, I think if you block the streets, if you build it, they will come, right? So if you block the streets, I think it's going to get worse, not better. And just, you know, I've no skin in the game. My kids are way past that, and I just don't. Now I'm starting to get a few trick-or-treaters again. But what if you make corridors of walking corridors? That way the street stays open, and you kind of make a wider side, because there's no sidewalk over there, right? So if you kind of make a fake sidewalk on each side of the road by putting up like barriers and cones and telling parents that their kids have to walk on that one side in that fake sidewalk that we just created, and then have a crossing guard that is at the end of the street and can cross people to the other side, and then they can make that kind of a U-loop. And that just might be a way to keep the road open and keep the kids safe. And just put a notice out there through the schools and everything, that if you're gonna trick or treat, you have to have, children must be accompanied by an adult, you know? I mean, it may or may not help, but.
Bless your heart, Wendy.
The middle schoolers aren't gonna listen, but if the notice goes out that should be, then the parents actually can push back and go, well, it says I'm supposed to be there, so I'll just wait here and you guys can walk down the street, so at least they kind of stay with them, maybe. But at least you put it out there.
Wendy, Wendy, before you go, I appreciate that. I mean, making a corridor and telling the parents, but
Spray, I mean, you
But
can't spray paint, but.
just an example. I'm at Butterworth's a lot. Parking lots, 7/8 empty. And someone has to park in front of you right by the mailbox to go in and get their coffee. And then you can't get out, you have to back up. Empty parking lot. These are parents, these are adults, these are educated people, but they have to do that. So I like the idea, but the entitlement is gonna go right over that rope and that barrier and walk into the middle of the street.
But that's when if you.
Do you know who I am? That kind of thing.
Yeah, if you have a police officer patrolling for safety.
Yeah.
Then they can be like, get back behind the barrel.
All right, I got a suggestion. Councilman. So it sounds like food trucks are out of play. There's no contracts that need to be signed and all that stuff. So I would like you to revisit with the police chief.
I'll have
And
them come in.
they have a traffic, I believe there's a traffic department.
There is.
Okay. Meet with them and come back at the next meeting.
Which is
the 20th of October, 11 days prior to the event.
Yep.
And say this is what we're willing to do or not to do. Okay, it's close the road, just keep the road open.
Well, it'll
It's
be their
parking on one side.
suggestion, it'll be our decision.
It'll be our decision, it'll be their suggestion, and I value their suggestion. Because they're the experts in this field. Is that,
Sounds reasonable.
Is that okay?
Yep.
That's okay?
Thank you.
I'll get to work on it tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
All right, do we have any old business before us tonight? I'll entertain a motion to open the meeting to the public to speak about anything but deer and Halloween.
Oh, you didn't do new business. You know that, right?
We just did new business.
I'm sorry, you didn't ask for any more new business.
Oh, do we have any more new business?
I got plenty.
Oh, we got new business, not on the agenda. Pardon me. Hey.
Police chief asked me to bring up e-bike resolution,
Okay,
an e-bike ordinance.
awesome.
We have a sample one. Anna, did he send you a sample one?
Yeah, I have it, it's from Clark Police Department.
Okay, we have a sample ordinance. I think everyone in this room could acknowledge we have a problem with e-bikes. Actually, on the way here tonight, there was a kid on the sidewalk with his e-bike. We all waited for him to cross the street with our cars. He went across from CDW, got to St. Pius, and got on the sidewalk and went down with his e-bike. It's probably the safest spot for him, but he's not supposed to be on the sidewalk. He didn't have a helmet. All those things. You know what I'm talking about. Bi-State has a serious problem, racing from Starbucks, going north all the way down that sidewalk, yelling at people. I've witnessed it myself, cursing at people. It's not nice. So we have a proposed ordinance that I guess we'll give it to Brian.
I'll get it out, well, they can all see it. And I'm sure the chief told you that both schools, the NDOT and our own elementary schools are on board with this.
Yes.
And we'll do anything to back us.
Yes, and we're going to have a night where we're going to meet, I think upstairs in the firehouse.
I've heard that there
Where
was
he's
discussion
gonna,
that,
this proposed,
Yeah.
where Brandon, our traffic guy, our patrolman, he's gonna explain the e-bike, proposed ordinance, e-bike safety, what it entails, because as he was telling me, a lot of parents don't know how fast these things can go, and they find out afterwards.
yeah, they're dangerous. That incident in Montvale.
Yes, incident Montvale is a prime example. It's on It's on social media every day.
The chief is also going to reach out to bi-state too, to see if they can also be on board.
Yes, he was doing that today. He was talking.
Okay,
to
so we're gonna get the ordinance, to Brian to look at, to pull something together. We'll get it out to us before the next meeting. And if everyone's in agreement, we can introduce it at our meeting on 10/20, first reading, and then we can adopt it in November.
Good. Fine.
Sound about right? But just if you can get it to us so we can read it before.
All right, but you'll send it out to everybody. All right,
Okay.
good. All right. My second thing was Country Square closing. We talked about that. My third thing was, we have a resident on Charles Place that lives down close to the Utah on that end of Charles Place.
Okay.
And they're out early, 6 o'clock, and they're trying to get back home at 8 o'clock, and they can't because it's closed for schools. This resident was asking if we could possibly have a permit for someone who lives right there, that they can drive slowly back to their house.
So what do you mean they can't get home?
Because of it's closed because of school traffic.
You're talking about K Street?
No, Charles
Why
Place.
can't they go down
Go
Russell?
the long way.
They don't want to go the long way.
No, he told me it was closed on both sides.
No, it's a long way.
I mean, I live in that neighborhood and I get out, I sometimes try to get out before school, but
Right.
don't always succeed.
He was saying that he can't get in because it's closed both sides. It's not?
Cars stream by my driveway from 8:15
Okay.
to 8.
I said I would bring it up tonight, just to,
I mean, I don't know what,
I'm sorry, they closed it on Multipan.
yeah, they close it by Ciosi's house.
That's it.
yeah.
Right, but they don't close it on the other end?
No,
No.
it becomes a one-way.
So why can't, they're coming from Old Pan Road?
Oh, not even a one-way.
Yeah.
They want to make the left or the right onto Charles.
So they
I'm down Russell.
couldn't go down Russell, make a right on Irving, right on Charles?
Yes, they can. Yes, they can.
Without any problems?
No problems at all.
Never mind.
Scratch
Person sent an email.
My
and-
neighbor?
It is not your neighbor.
Okay.
No, I don't want to talk about names.
All right.
And that's all I have for new business.
Okay. All right. We had no old business. I think I heard that. We did entertain, I don't know if we'll do it again, entertain a motion to open the meeting to the
So
public.
move.
Okay,
Second.
second? Okay, no deer, please, no Halloween, please. And I saw a hand up back there?
Sherry. Thank you for bringing up e-bikes. That's what I was going to ask about. Where I live, I'm like in the center of, ground zero in town when it comes to school and everything. But I don't know if you're allowed to ban e-bikes or certain ones, but the amount of kids, I'm really worried when I pull out of, I have a circular drive, and even though I cut back the tree, there's clearance to see, but those e-bikes go flying down. First off, they shouldn't be allowed on the side. I don't know what to do with them.
They're not allowed on the sidewalk.
That's gonna be in the ordinance.
These kids, they don't pay attention. Like there was one kid with another one, somebody said, "You don't have a helmet on." He goes, "Oh, I have it at home." The guy goes, "You don't have a helmet at home," So I didn't know if we could just ban them or ban them from certain roads, because it's such a busy road, especially during the school hours and rush hour. That
would be difficult.
I want to put
Yeah.
signs on my driveway, just, active driveway or something, because I don't want to hit anybody. And
I don't think we could ban them.
You can't see them coming.
I think education is the, education with enforcement.
And with enforcement with an ordinance.
Well, that's the
Keep them
thing
off the
too.
sidewalks.
Do any of these kids get any tickets for
Wear
not having a
safety gear.
helmet?
Well, we have to have a law, and, yes, I will say yes to that.
Because there is the
Um,
bicycle helmet law, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
Okay.
So yes, and then when they're wearing helmets, you know what they get? They get ice cream certificates from our.
They catch them doing good.
Good things, we give them ice cream.
They do.
Oh, that's a
That's
good
true.
And they get certificates to go to
Okay.
Dairy Queen.
Okay,
You wear your helmets? Good.
just concerned because it's gotten so much worse, and you don't see the e-bikes coming, and they go fast,
They
and
do.
the kids don't
And they're
even,
quiet.
they're not even looking.
And they're very quiet.
And then the people, the children that are leaving from school, they're busy on their phones, not looking at anything. Like, I know I've spoken to the crossing guard, he goes, it's just a nightmare. They're like, it's like, come on, and they're not, the kids, they're not paying attention, and unfortunately they have so many distractions. The other thing years and years ago, I said, if police want to sit in my driveway to catch speeders, because we have a lot more traffic in town, and we do have a lot more speeding in town, so they're welcome to.
I can tell you, Sherry, that our speeding tickets, our traffic stops and speeding tickets are way up. from previous years. In the last 2 years, since I've been police commissioner, it's nothing to do with me.
And is it
But
mostly Old Japan Road? would you say?
It's Old Fan Road and it's Poplar Road,
Okay.
on the reservoir,
Okay.
as it was when I was in high school.
Yeah, it's just, to bring attention to the fact that it's
Yes,
gotten
it's-
worse, so.
They're very
Nobody
proactive
get
about
hurt.
that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else from the public? Wendy, come on back up.
Wendy.
This is great.
But I just have a question. So when we were kids, there were mopeds, and my friends had to be a certain age, and they had to go take a certain safety class, and then they had this little mini license plate on the back of their moped, and they had to wear a helmet and do all that stuff. So is there a way to do that with e-bikes? A minimum age, you have to have the helmet, you have to take a safety class. I mean, to run a wave runner in New Jersey, you need to go take a safety class.
I think the answer is yes.
I think it's in the ordinance.
It's actually all regulated by the state under Title 39, just like motor vehicles are. And the municipality is gonna have some ability to control it, but very limited, because most of it's taken care of by the state.
Yeah, because I mean, just having a license even, because then if a police officer sees the
Yeah.
kid, they can at least know who's mom.
We regulate it as much as we're able to regulate it.
Okay.
Okay?
Do I have to get up?
You gotta get up.
Doreen Pfeiffer, just to let you know, there is legislation that is pending.
Gotta get you on tape.
There is Doreen Pfeiffer, 12 Windsor Place, there is legislation that is pending now. There are a couple of senators and assembly people that are
Okay.
already looking into this matter.
Okay, excellent. Keep us surprised, if you will. All right.
Surprised, not surprised.
Not surprised, I'd rather be surprised. Anybody else from the public?
Motion to close? Oh, somebody else? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Completely unrelated, it's a personal matter.
That's all right.
It's open to the public.
Yeah, it's open, yeah, sure.
Name and address for the record.
Ponta Alahari, 6 Eckerson Court.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Ponta Alahari, 6 Eckerson Court.
Najit Fahmapur, 6 Eckerson Court.
So, hello everyone.
Hi.
Our issue is that our street is almost fully lined with Crimson King Norway maples.
Oh, here we go.
So, okay. Well, some of them have been removed for whatever reason over the years. But when we purchased the property over 7 years ago, there was a privacy fence, natural privacy fence, in between these trees. So that fully covered, I guess, the backyard. And one of the reasons why we love the property so much is because we had that privacy. But I guess what happened over the years is that these maple trees, or in particular one of them, the roots grew so strong, thick, deep, and horizontal that it killed off the other trees. So we ended up removing them. We had no choice, they were all dead. Now fast forward years later, we'd like to put up that privacy fence again. So what we'd like to do, and with your permission, is to remove that one maple tree, just the one, and in its place for the privacy fence, plant about 16 to 30 other trees.
Is that a borough tree? The one you want to remove? Is it owned by the town?
Yes, I
Okay.
believe so.
That's
We were
right.
told
Good.
to, come here tonight and ask for your permission to do so.
I think somebody needs to look at the tree.
I think we gotta
The tree has been looked at.
By our building department?
Yes.
And what was the verdict?
DPW, Andy Brackenberry?
Yeah.
tree is fine.
Andy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Andy, yeah, he's
Well,
great.
the tree is fine.
Tree is fine.
He said the tree is fine.
tree is-
Interesting.
But it's causing other adverse
Yeah.
Yeah,
conditions.
well, the roots have grown out at least, I would say, 10 feet on each side.
So,
And the only way to put up the privacy fence where it would make sense is to remove just that one.
yeah,
So
so,
when you say privacy fence, you're talking about a tree.
Tree,
like-
you're talking about a natural
like
privacy
Green Giants or
fence.
something like that.
Yes, we
Like-
do.
Okay, that's fine.
Green giant.
Yep.
Okay.
To me, I'm sorry.
We all
I'm
are.
looking back there. The 3 trees, I don't know if this makes a difference, that we're thinking of planting are Murray cypress, supposedly deer resistant, but we don't know. The other one is Norway spruce and maybe skyrocket juniper, I think it's called, which they were telling us is also deer resistant.
So you're just looking for permission to cut down the tree?
Yeah, just that one tree, so we can.
How do we
plant
go
these
through
others.
this? We gotta go through
have to go through building laws.
Yeah, building department.
our new,
Well, there'll be a tree, there's
Tree
a tree
enforcement.
removal permit, but
Yep.
it's a live tree, so they're gonna not be happy about that. And it's a borough tree, so they're not gonna be happy
Borough
about
tree's
that.
key.
But they're putting up other trees.
No, I understand that. So So what I'd like to do is I'd like to have Council President Boyce,
Yes?
landscape architect by day,
Yes.
Council President by night,
Yes.
to go look at that with Andy
I will.
and say, okay, it's a live tree, it's this and that, but it's, in your opinion, it's causing this problem.
I'm on it.
And bring that back for next meeting, and we say yay or nay. And
Can I just add one more thing? I'm so sorry.
No,
It
okay.
does break my heart to have to pull up this tree.
Mhm.
But like I said, in its place, we're gonna plant so many others.
Okay.
And
Did you say like 16 or something? What did you say?
16 to 30, depending on which of these three trees.
This
you
is where
choose.
I don't like our ordinance.
Well, it's a
Taking
borough
away
tree.
a tree, who cares? They're planting 16.
But it's a borough tree.
I know.
Trouble is it's borough tree.
Yeah, it's a borough tree.
The other
But you know
quandary
what
is that
it
it's it's a Norway maple.
Right.
And things generally do not grow below Norway maple.
Right, I know.
So
That's
we
right.
lose biodiversity because of it.
Fair point.
Thank you.
And
So-
this has nothing to do with the permit, this has to do
No.
with.
Yeah, but they still need a permit. I don't know.
Okay.
And just, I'm sorry, one more point to add is, I don't know why, like, because maybe our entire backyard is exposed from, the side of the property, people just walk in there as it, like, no, I'm serious, it's so strange. Like delivery,
For candy?
no.
The people that are gonna stay on the sidewalk?
Nobody comes to our street for Halloween. We always get candy, nobody comes, but, anyway, yeah, like the delivery people,
All right, so we want
yeah, they just walk
Wanna
up and put
get-
it on the.
you wanna get your
jackets.
privacy back.
Yes, please.
to, all right.
I'm on it.
Councilman Boyce, DPW Superintendent Brackenberry, we'll look at that. He'll bring his thoughts back next week. We okay, 2 weeks?
Next week, you come back?
No, you don't have to come back. You can leave your name and number, we'll call you.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, you can come back. You're
We'll come back, you're welcome to come back,
Thank you very much.
you know?
No, you should come back.
Okay. Thank you. No, it just
Thank you
sounds,
so much.
sounds like a very reasonable request.
You have their address?
And, yeah, your address again?
6 Eckerson.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Anybody else from the public like to be heard?
Motion to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Entertain a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second? Okay, let's go right into our executive meeting. Roll call, please.
Mayor Gallagher?
Here.
Councilman Badani?
Here.
Councilman Boyce?
Here?
Councilman Yuan?
Here.
Councilman Marty?
Here.
Councilman Yu?
Here.
Okay, let's go into our engineers report. Hi, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Tom.
All right, my leg's a little asleep.
Start doing laps.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. I just have a couple small items, not a heck of a lot going on at the moment. I did check on the Central Avenue handicap ramps on my way in tonight. I expected that work was underway, but it apparently is not, so I will follow up on that and figure out what's going on. There's nothing from the borough end or the county end that I'm aware of that would be holding that up. So I will follow up with the contractor. I actually emailed them already this evening, but I'll follow up again tomorrow. And then the thing that we are most focused on at the moment is tax map updates. So it's kind of a big job, but we're in the middle of it, and that'll be done in the next, I would say, month max. And that's all I have. So if you have any questions.
Who's drafting those tax map updates? You are?
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah.
All right.
A lot of it, the larger stuff you get from the developer, but when you bring it in, it doesn't fit right.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of playing around, but it's not that bad.
Okay. Ask you one question?
Sure.
Would you be available to meet over at, right across the parking lot and help me, help you, help us together figure out a better means for handicap access to the above the firehouse area for all the seniors? that
From the
go in?
municipal lot to the firehouse, there was a ramp.
Yeah, we had looked at that at one occasion. It's tough.
It's really very
Yeah, you're not
difficult.
gonna get something fully compliant unless the ramp would have to literally go back, switch back
Right.
multiple
Yeah.
times.
It's too much of an angle.
Yeah.
Too much of a degrees.
We were talking about moving the opening over.
Yeah.
Driveway.
To give us more real estate.
Yeah, so if you combined moving the Borough Hall driveway entrance.
Or the Borough Hall.
We could do that. Yeah,
Open up.
Get
some
just the
deer to pull it
driveway.
away. Yes.
That frees up some space. But still, I think it's at least one switchback with a ramp, so it's gonna be a big-ish project.
But if we touch it, we have to do it right, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so you guys.
Is there any way that the fire department would consider closing that driveway?
Maybe.
Isn't it our driveway?
It would
No,
give more space there.
it's borough the whole way.
Well, entertain, if that's something that needs to be considered, and you buy them a new truck, then. Yeah, if that's something that should be considered to make it accessible, then I'm sure they'll consider it. So, however, the best way to get it done. Okay, anything else for Tom? All right, thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. What's that? Okay. All right, next on the agenda is a council vacancy candidate, is how it's written on there. Want to give a little bit of an update or what has happened. So we unfortunately had Councilwoman Massaro. She resigned from the council at our September 15th council meeting. The next morning, I advised our county committee chairperson of the vacancy, in which they had 15 days to meet and to bring 3 names back to this council. County committee met on October 1st. It was a Wednesday evening, went kind of late to the evening. I was notified by way of text that the county committee interviewed 5 candidates for the open position, and selected 3, of which I was notified of the 3 candidates that came out of county committee. No background info was provided by the county committee, at least as of today. As per state statute, this council must appoint within 30 days. 30 days would be October 15th, today being the 6th or so. We will not be meeting until the 20th again. So therefore, based on the information that we have, I don't know if I can name the 3 names. Can I name? So we have Scott O'Rourke, was a considered candidate. Donna Costello was a considered candidate, and I'm sorry, Jim, you know the last name.
Andrew Batterina.
Battery were the 3. So that's where we are right now.
Can we take our nominations?
Yes.
I'd like to nominate Donna Costello for that position.
Is there a second?
I will second that nomination.
Let's have some discussion on that. If anyone wants to discuss.
After reading, there were not exactly, there was no information coming from county committee, but there was an email that Jen sent out, thank you, requesting background, quasi-resumes, I would say,
Yeah,
from
candidates,
the 3
why they
candidates,
think-
which I read this afternoon late, and I was impressed by hers, not by the others.
I definitely thought she had the most qualifications to fill the role.
Right, not that the others were lacking,
great
I just liked hers the
candidates,
best, yeah.
Has everybody provided that, or?
Has everybody
Has
provided that
I
statement?
didn't get anything via email or any information.
I only gave it to people that asked.
Well, I don't know you submitted anything.
I expected each councilman to reach out to the candidates themselves to find out information.
Oh.
No, nothing came out of the county committee back to the council.
Right, so I thought we were gonna interview them.
I don't think we do interview them. In fact, that's what county committee does. And they bring 3 names back normally, with a little bit of a bio, on, they served on school board, they served on planning board, they've done whatever they've done. But there was nothing that came back from county committee. So based on, it's a small town, and a lot of people know a lot of people, and I know that I'm not even a voting person here, but I know I've worked with Donna Costello on the Town Day Committee. I know she was a former school board person. I know Scott a little bit from his ambulance corps stuff. I don't know the other gentleman.
So, well, Donna's a great pick, really good pick. I'm just saying that I wasn't provided anything, so I wasn't even aware, because I've never done this, that I should have reached out to the members.
Neither did we, yeah.
Yeah, no,
But yet
I've
we
never
did.
done this.
Someone took it upon himself to
No,
do
but the
it.
county committee should have
I
sent
felt
stuff
like
to
I
us.
couldn't
Yeah.
make a educated vote unless I reached out to the county.
I agree with
town
you.
and-
That's exactly what that's my point. Okay.
I happened to be talking to Jim today, and he said, I'll send it over to you. I said, send it over.
Okay.
So,
I think,
So
I
we
think,
have a, oh, go ahead.
no, I'm just,
Sorry.
I think we've each had interactions or know of the candidates, and that would be kind of a diversified opinion here about when we're voting, as opposed to if we sent a bio of one and not the other two, maybe it's a little biased or whatever. So I have limited information, but I'll vote based on what I know and not what everybody else
I
either
reached out
provided
all
to
three
me
and
or
got a
anything.
bio from all three.
Okay. So you were proactive on that. Okay.
I didn't pick.
Yeah, I would have thought, again, my first rodeo on this thing too, I would have thought that the county committee would have said, all right, we're giving you 3 names out of 5 for a reason, but never really got a reason. So Councilman, you said, well, I'd like to know a reason, and
All right.
we went for it, so.
So you had all their emails or phone numbers already?
I did.
Oh, that's impressive.
I did.
Okay.
I do know all three from
Oh, okay.
somewhere or another.
All right, so, yeah, like I said, I'm good with Donna. I'm just,
But like you want, I would have liked to have interviewed them myself or get a report of the interviews that the county committee had done, right? So that would kind of replace my interaction
been
with the
great.
candidates. That would have been great.
That would have been awesome, and I think the state statute's a little bit kind of odd. I don't know if it's one of these things that needs to be looked at, but they had 15 days to meet, I believe, right, Brian?
To submit the names
To
to the
submit the
council.
names, and September 15th to October 1st, we can call it after hours, so I'll give them a pass. And then today being the 6th, we have only until the 20th to act. So we're somewhat under the gun. So we can make that decision this evening. So
I'm good for a vote.
okay. So we have a motion and a second. Okay. No more discussion. We'll go right to a roll call.
Councilman Bernard?
yes.
Councilman Boyce?
Yes.
Councilman Guan?
Yes.
Councilman Marty?
Yes.
Councilman Yu?
Yes.
Okay, I'd love to get with Ms. Costello sooner than later, and administer her oath of office, and she's welcome up on the dais here at any time I can get with her and swear her in.
Next meeting?
We lose a woman, we get a woman.
There you go.
You guys need a woman up there.
You think, huh?
She is,
Definitely.
she's a very good candidate, incredibly bright. I think she's gonna do very well.
Awesome. Well,
Great.
Thank you.
glad to hear that.
Good feedback.
Swear her in on the 20th, or you gonna just swear her in?
If she,
Sooner the better.
what's that?
Sooner the better.
Swear her in during the day.
I could, yeah. Maybe you can give me her contact information, Jen. I'd be happy to reach
I
out.
will.
I'd love to reach out to her tonight, actually.
So then don't bother putting it on if she'll be a regular council person by our next meeting?
I would hope so, yeah. Otherwise, at the very latest, it'll be at the next council meeting.
Okay, because I would put it at the very beginning, like.
Yes,
every-
yes.
Mr. Mayor, just reach out to her, see what she would prefer, I would say. Well, we could swear her in before, right when our next meeting starts,
Yes,
right?
yeah, that would be the very latest. Yeah, but if she wants to do it prior, I'd be happy to.
I just sit here until Mayor.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay, where are we with that? Council committee reports. We'll start with Councilman Yu tonight.
Just want to congratulate.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to apologize in advance, it's a little lengthy tonight. Report of the seniors. Our seniors will be going on a field trip tomorrow to West Point, where they'll take a tour of the academy, have lunch at the Thayer Hotel, and we'll end the trip with a boat ride down the Hudson River. On Thursday, October 23rd, they'll be attending an international lunch and learn focusing on Greek culture and cuisine. I'm sure Anna will be there. Report of DPW. Our committee will be interviewing candidates tomorrow afternoon. Hopefully I'll announce a new hire by next meeting. There's a free paper shredding event at our DPW facility from 9 to 1 on Saturday, October 11th. And just a couple of items they took care of in the month of September. They're happy to say their new hire, Sal Porcelli, started on 29th, and he just finished the safety training, and he's doing very well, joining with the department. They installed a new hot water heater at Stone Point, temporarily installed a historical blue plate sign at Stone Point. I think that's what the historical committee was working on.
Yes.
Sam Petroselli.
Sam was doing that.
Yep. Chipping has been completed this year. They prepped all our leaf machines for the leaf season coming up. Pressure washed and cleaned all the playgrounds. Finished the last round of sweeping. Prepped for Town Day, which was unfortunately postponed. Excuse me. Attended various meetings, including safety meetings, OEM meetings, court EOP meetings, curbing project meetings, and leaf season begins on October 6th and ends December 1st. Report from the construction department. I'd like to welcome the appointment of Sean Smith to our department. He will be helping us enforce our tree ordinance, and like I said, he does this in Cresskill, so he knows his job very well. A couple of highlights from construction permit activity report. From the month of September, the department generated a total of $35,283, bringing the yearly total to $305,479. Recreation department. The new date for Town Day is October 25th, Saturday, starting at 1 p.m. at Stone Point. And that just so happens to be the same date as our annual Ragamuffin Parade at Oaks Park, starting at 11. Another issue that Gloria has brought up to me, I think I emailed a couple of you, or maybe just the mayor and Anna. They've been dealing with a lot of deer dropping issues on the soccer fields. And as you can imagine, it's not a pleasant experience having the kids run around most of the time, tackling each other on the soccer fields when there's a lot of deer poop around. So they hired a third party to start picking up all the deer droppings. That's been costing the department about $1,200 a month right now. We're going to be talking about a longer-term solution next budget season, but they got it covered for the rest of this year. Report from the fire department. This is Fire Safety Week this week. Our volunteers will be visiting our local grade schools to talk about fire safety tomorrow. In the evening, both the fire department and the First Aid Corps will be hosting visitors at their annual open house. It's always proven to be a great time, and the fire department this year will be putting on an exhibition on vehicle extrication this year. So no bonfire this year. They'll be doing a demonstration on vehicle extrication. Call stats for the month of September. Up until today, the fire department had 30 calls for service, totaling 119 man-hours. For the year thus far, we're up to 177 calls for service, totaling 1,051 man-hours. Part of their training in September, the OTFD conducted a joint training exercise with Spark Hill and Alpine fire departments. This allowed the OTFD to practice working with towns that they don't often get to work with. Apparatus report. Squad is still out of service. It's expected back sometime this week. The engine is in service. The tower is in service. Marine is in service. The rescue chassis that's on order is expected to be painted this week or next. And Mr. Mayor, that concludes my report.
Thank you. One quick comment. Soccer players don't tackle each other. That would be football.
That would be a penalty. You tackle the ball.
Sorry, kid.
It's all right.
You tried. You did a good
On
job.
that note, Councilman Guan, your report.
Oh, I'm up now.
Yeah, you're up now.
Jen can follow me here. Really quickly, so library, first thing is the craft fair is December 6th from 11 to 4 as the main fundraiser this year for the library. Vendors are looking for vendors.
When is it again? I'm sorry.
December 6th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. They'll also be giving out library or selling library totes as well. Second, at the library, the In Honor Of bench for Susan has been received. They have not assembled it yet, but once they assemble it, they'll put it out front. Third, budget season is approaching, so they're getting ready for their 2026 budget. Number 4, they've been updating the library policies, which are very old, so they're going to update them, especially with the new head librarian. 5, they've been fixing sinks, faucets, water fountain, and refrigerator, so they've been busy doing some repairs there. They're also looking to hire a new worker. I think someone had resigned, so I think they're going to replace that person. Also, they've been getting a landscaping quote for the landscaping around the library. In terms of OEM, Andy's report, very briefly here, they went to training, which was held by PSE&G at the Fire Academy, which showed them how to deal with gas emergencies. They also went to the quarterly safety meeting with the JIF, also the quarterly county OEM meeting. They also met with Perryweather, the lightning detection system company, and they also interviewed a prospective candidate for the new deputy position. And then in terms of finance, Jesse, I think you distributed the budget prep sheets to the department heads. So we're getting ready for budget season, a couple of months before the end of the year. And that would be the end of my report.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Mooney.
Thank you. Very brief. Board of Health, they're having for the OT Mayor's Wellness Campaign. The Mental Health Book Club, Tuesday, October 14th, 7 to 8 p.m. at the library. Discussions will be spearheaded by Mr. Greco, who's a clinical social worker, and Dr. Bhatia, who is actually the chair of the Board of Health. In case you're wondering, the book is The Happiness Files, Insight on Work and Life, and should be a good discussion. Also, Ciro Salingo, hopefully I pronounced that right.
Yeah.
He resigned from the Board of Health. I spoke with Dr. Bhatia just to kind of get an idea of how they wanted to, fill his seat. And they just kind of recommended that we make the alternate one, which is Sarabjit Singh, who's the alternate one, just kind of. Yeah, exactly. So I told her I would bring that up, and I didn't think that it would be a problem. So that is that. The schools, I spoke with the superintendent today, Dr. Dujau. Obviously, the school started in September. She says she has nothing new to report for the month of September, but she did want to pass along a sincere thank you to the mayor and the council for all the support to schools. She did say that next month we will probably be getting some news, and I think it has to do with what we discussed a couple meetings ago with regards to the building. First Aid Corps, I'm going to have to push it off to the next meeting. I shot an email out to the chief, the deputy chief, the president. I wanted to get some numbers and kind of get an idea of where we were with the ambulance purchase. I haven't received the response, so I'm going to follow up with them again and see if we get some information. So that's all I have.
Two things. Well,
sure.
Regarding Board of Health.
Yeah.
Could you, so we had a lot of conversation last 2 meetings about deer, okay? And Lyme disease and tick-borne disease. Is there any, anything that comes out of the Board of Health locally that they are seeing a rise there, whether it's prevention, whether it's not a deer problem, as the person said tonight, versus it is a deer problem, as the person said 2 weeks ago? Is there something that the Board of Health can kind of, guide us on in a way? Because, again, perception is that Lyme disease is growing in our area. Whether that's true or not, I don't have any facts to back that up.
I do. I mean, in the agricultural community, it's an issue.
Okay.
So I can tell you that It's always been here, it's just being diagnosed better now.
Okay.
So now they're saying, oh, look, all these people have Lyme disease. Well, they probably did in the past, you just didn't diagnose it right.
Okay.
The other thing is, you can have plenty of ticks without deer. People think if you have deer, oh my God, there's going to be ticks. Well, they're a host for ticks, but the ticks are here anyway. Just it.
Okay,
Yeah.
That's not my,
Yeah, so-
okay.
yeah, no,
But maybe there's something.
yeah, so it's not mine either, but I will,
Okay.
put the feelers out there, just to touch to his point. I think he was spot on by saying that it's, diagnosed more properly. So if you look at what Lyme disease does, which is the main cause from ticks, it's multifaceted. So it can cause heart block in cardiac patients. It can cause so many things that I think a lot of the stuff was just underdiagnosed. Even in my realm right now, if we have a patient that comes in to the emergency room and their heart rate's in the 30s, the first thing they're testing for is Lyme disease. And if they come back positive, we're going to hold off on putting a pacemaker in that patient because the studies have shown that it might subside after time. So, but I will find out more for you.
Last thing on Board of Health and EMS, you have responsibility for both.
Yep.
I think it's a good idea to bump the alternate up. You think there's, Board of Health and what EMS does and, maybe there's a junior person, maybe there's a person on EMS that wants to be an alternate on the Board of Health?
Sure.
Might be a good
You have a name
synergy
for me,
there.
or-
I don't,
Oh, okay.
no. So,
Yeah.
maybe. Yes, ma'am.
Speaking of for Safe Court, they do have an adoption event on Sunday, October 12th, for pet adoption.
That's all I
That
need.
the flyer will go out.
You gonna put it on the website?
Human adoption.
Cool. Yeah, that was something I think someone just stumbled upon and the timing, short timing, but we'll see. Yeah, okay, thank you. All right, thank you, Councilman. Councilman Benagi.
Police report will be ready for our next meeting, at our public meeting. I do not have a report tonight.
Okay, fair enough.
Quick enough, right?
That's working out. Council President Boyce. Can you beat that?
Yeah, well, I could, but I'll try to speak a little bit about the golf course because it's very exciting. We're getting new bunkers. That project is underway. We're expecting it to take about 4 weeks. The initial estimation was 6 weeks, so it'll be a little quicker than that. Once complete, we're going to be speaking with the USGA for a new rating or a re-rating of the course, either at the end of this year or at the beginning of next year, which should bode well for additional interest. We currently have 264 members with 42 new members. Resident versus non-resident still is a 50-50 split. Let me go back to, there has been a pesky little trench that runs away from the pump house that was neglected to be filled in since they ran the wire over there. It's finally filled, punched, seeded, so hopefully grass will grow soon thanks to our DPW. In terms of total revenue, we are actually above budget by $38,000. That doesn't mean our expenses were below expenses, so we're looking to curb expenses. I do expect there to be, a positive year for the golf course monetarily. I won't get into that anymore at this point. The Environmental Commission met a few weeks ago. I think we're due for another meeting real soon here. But what we thought about doing was creating a comprehensive open space map of Old Tappan using our GIS system, which our DPW has. Now, this would identify existing parcels in town that are either owned by the municipality, but also private parcels in advance of us saying, gee, what do we do with our $1 million of open space funding that we have in the bank? Maybe we can identify some spaces and intervene at the right time. Ron, you have too much space for our budget.
No, but by using that monies, it has to go towards building affordable housing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we can't go cutting grass or anything like that.
Nothing like that.
It's that money only.
With that money.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we'll be working on all of our budgets soon. Capital budget for the golf course is always interesting. And the Environmental Commission as well. It's a lot less, and the veterans as well. So that concludes my report.
Any update on planning? Planning board.
Planning board?
Just, I don't think you met last month and you might have a crowded, but if there's nothing really pressing, then we'll leave it alone and you'll report after the next meeting.
Yeah, I'm not expecting anything too crowded, am I?
Well, there's a couple of applications, but I don't know if they're all complete. So,
Okay.
Yeah, we've,
there's like 4 applications, I think 2 of them are very short.
Okay.
we were not, as you said, we didn't meet in September, so.
All right. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
A couple of brief comments from me tonight. Some of my happenings over the past couple of weeks. I enjoyed coffee with a cop at Starbucks last week or so. I think the police department was well represented on hand, and there was a nice event in town here. I did have the honor to attend the fire department inspection dinner and address the members, along with Council Mtg. I would like to see, just personally, I'd like to see better attendance from our rest of the council members at that event going forward, if possible. Yes, you were there, I'm sorry. Okay. I attended the Core Fire ribbon cutting, one of the new businesses up in the new shopping center there. It's kind of like a Pilates type. They told me what it was and I forget, but it was some sort of training there. I attended the Northern Valley Mayor's Association meeting. 2 topics that night was they had a representative talking about the Greenway, the old CSX line that runs from like Northvale down to, keep going, but down to like Tenafly or Englewood. In Englewood, it's still a live rail line, and that they're moving ahead with a hike and bike type trail at glacier speed. They do have, they did finally, CSX kind of reported as abandoned, and that's kind of a good first step there. They also had representatives from Orange and Rockland talking about the utility bills and why it's not their fault. So a lot of questions were asked about how can they address the situation. A couple of things I'm looking forward to this month is certainly Town Day on the 25th. It was reported several times tonight. It's a great event, and I hope we have good weather. Our superhero 5K, honoring our police, fire, and EMS personnel. If you're a runner, come out and run. And if you're not, please support the organization as they run by, give them a high five. And then, as I think, Councilman, you reported, tomorrow night is the Fire Department and EMS annual open house, 6:30 to 8 o'clock, I think. Kids love going there, running around, looking at all the equipment on both sides of the street. So that's tomorrow night. And that is all I have, unless anyone has questions for me. If not, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. We're closed.